This happened last winter when I was driving home late from visiting a friend. It was around 1 in the morning, and I decided to take the back roads instead of the highway. The back way shaved about 15 minutes off my drive, but it cut through a heavily wooded area with nothing but trees and dirt trails for miles. I'd driven it plenty of times before, and while it was a little creepy at night, I never thought twice about it. That night, though, something felt different. There was no snow on the ground, but the air was cold enough that a thin layer of fog clung to the road. My headlights cut through it in long, narrow beams, but beyond that, everything was just black. No houses, no other cars, just the hum of my engine and the crunch of tires on pavement. After about 10 minutes, I noticed something up ahead. At first, it looked like an animal on the shoulder, but as I got closer, I realized it was a man. He was standing perfectly still, right at the edge of the road, facing traffic. He wasn't waving for help. He wasn't even moving. He was just standing there. I slowed down a little, trying to make sense of it. His hood was pulled over his head, and his arms hung stiffly at his sides. Even as my headlights swept over him, I couldn't make out his face. It was completely hidden in shadow. A normal person in that situation would have stepped back, or at least turned their head when a car passed. But he didn't move an inch. He just stood there, facing me, like he was waiting. I didn't stop. I didn't even tap the brakes. I kept my eyes on the road and drove past him as calmly as I could. But once I passed, something in me told me to check the rearview mirror. That was a mistake. The man had stepped into the middle of the road, and he was walking after me. Not running, just walking. But the way he moved was stiff, deliberate, like he wasn't in any hurry. But somehow, he knew he'd catch up. I pressed harder on the gas, putting distance between us, and when I looked back again, he was gone. The road was completely empty. I told myself maybe he had just walked back into the woods. But about a minute later, as the road curved, my headlights lit up another figure ahead of me. The same height, the same hoodie, standing in the middle of the road this time, directly in my lane. My stomach dropped. I swerved into the opposite lane to avoid him, and as I passed, I glanced to the side. His head turned slowly, following my car with his eyes. I didn't see a mouth or a nose, just dark, hollow shapes where his eyes should have been. I floored it after that. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I didn't dare look back in the mirror. When I finally made it out of the woods and back near town, I pulled over at a gas station to calm down. My hands were shaking as I gripped the wheel. I sat there for a while, convincing myself I must have been seeing things. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe my brain was playing tricks on me. But when I got out to stretch my legs, I noticed something on the back window of my car. Smudges, clear, greasy handprints, streaked across the glass, like someone had been holding on. The thing is, I never stopped the car. Not once. So whoever, or whatever that man was, he had gotten close enough to touch it. I've never taken that road again, and I don't plan to.